right, here we go. Hey, schmack a gob, everybody. This is not Almost Human Live. So this is taped prior to it. But before I'll go into the explanation, I have with me Jerry Supa and Joseph Staub, who have a new, what do they call this? A YouTube channel, YouTube show?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a podcast. It's a YouTube.
No.
And YouTube, let me tell you something. YouTube shows are the future. Podcasts are kind of dying out. They
I
really are.
agree.
And but anyway, before we get into, because we're going to talk about Styx, I told him beforehand, no plan. Let's just talk about Styx. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I will say this for the sake of the channel. This week, this as you're watching this, I'm going to see Blue Oyster Cult on Thursday, and then the following Thursday, I won't be around for some. But I did talk to the Almost Humanoids, Tony Dio and Ralph and them, and I said, hey, let's do a show next week and record it and then air it on Thursday. And that's what I'm doing this week with Joseph and Jerry, because it was last minute and I knew they wouldn't be able to do it. And I even thought about Styx, and I don't think those guys like Styx. Maybe Tony does, but it doesn't matter. I thought, fuck it, I want to talk about Styx. And it's called Heavy Water. And they
77.
huh?
Heavy Water 77.
Heavy Water 77. There's 3 episodes up so far. And man, I love it. And I love all the little details I didn't know about these records here. I pulled out all my Styx stuff. And here's the thing. Let's see how legitimate these two guys are when it comes to Styx. You know why? Because I'm going to show my whole collection, and there's one CD missing. There's one CD I don't have, or a vinyl. I don't have it. Out of their whole discography, there's only one I'm missing. Let's see if you guys can.
Can I make a guess right now?
Yeah,
Cyclorama.
I have it.
Damn. Thought that was it.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you all mine, and then when we're done, which one that I didn't show?
All right.
And I mean, this shit ain't in order. I might as well just pick up. This is what we'll do since we have no plans. I'm going to pick a CD, random vinyl, and we're going to talk about each one as I show you my collection. All right? This one, I can't really talk about it much because I only listened to it once, but I will get back and listen to their latest one. What's this called? Circling some shit?
Circling from above.
No, circling some shit. All right, I did listen to it once. Okay, and this is what I'm sure you guys listened to it more than once, right?
Mhm.
All right, so you'll have a better thing. But this is what I got out of this. Out of one listen, I thought this kind of reminds me a lot of their last 2 albums. It doesn't really stray. It's like the same formula. But I got to listen to it more to get, because nothing really grabbed me. But that happens to me a million times when I listen to CD for the first time. I gotta listen to it again to get some grabbage, you know what I mean? But I liked it, but I think maybe I'll love it later. What do you guys think? How would you compare this with the last 2?
I am having trouble with this one, to be honest with you. I really am. I want to like it. I wasn't a huge fan of the Crash of the Crown either.
Wait. I hate to cut you off.
Go for it.
I just noticed something super cool. Jerry, show him what you're wearing, bro. Look at that shit. Hell yeah. In case anybody doesn't know it, that's me, man. Dr. Hell yeah. All right, I'm sorry to cut you off, Jerry, but your shirt made me do it.
Hey, no problem.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, their last 3 albums, they had a lot of outside, or not outside writing now, because he's part of the band from Will Ivanovich. So those last 3 albums do sound, familiar. Not familiar, but similar. I loved The Mission. The Crash of the Crown, it's still taking me a long time to really like it. I like a few songs off it. But this one here, I don't know, man. I'm having trouble. I've listened to it like 4 or 5 times in its entirety. There's maybe 1 or 2 songs on it that I really like. Other than that, I just can't get into them, man. So I'm hoping the more I'm going to force myself to like this album. I'm going to listen to it until I love it. So,
Well, You got a long time because what these guys are doing is that they're going through the discography. So by the
Yeah,
time you get to that album, come on, by then, Judgment Day's been called. You know whether you like it or don't.
yeah, pretty much. But it's cool. I mean, I liked how they gave they sold the autograph version online. That was
I, I
pretty cool.
I didn't know about that. I see mine, and I did buy it before they. I don't even think this is on sale yet. Is it? Is this
So
already
it's
on sale?
it's a really weird release. Jerry and I talked about this a little bit on the show. I've never seen an album release like this before. So it had been rumored for a while that they were putting this album out. Like I even think that they had said what it was going to be called and everything, but there was like nothing official on any of the band's pages or anything about it until last month, or actually May now because it's July 1st. But at the end of May, they announced on just like a random day they were going to do that like video thing where
Talk
they
Shop
the
Live.
talk shop live where they interviewed some of the band members and officially announced it. Then the next morning was when Build and Destroy, the first single, came out, and that was I think a couple days before the tour started, and that was when the pre-orders went up. That's when I think both Jerry and I pre-ordered our CDs right when they announced it. That's when you could get the autographed one. Um, but they had said when you pre-ordered it, it said on the pre-order thing shipping at the end of June. And then also it said that they weren't going to be releasing it digitally until the end of July. So it was kind of weird. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later on Facebook, I saw people starting to already get their stuff mailed to them. Mine came the next day. Jerry's came a few days later. So not only that, but if you go to see them live, they're selling it at the concerts. So I've never seen an album release because it's on a major label. It's on Universal. It's not like it's on their like private label or anything. This is a major label album, and they're releasing it in like 5 different waves, and there's no like actual release day. And some people are getting it now. I saw some people say that now it's on back order. So it's kind of weird. I've never seen an album released like this before.
So
Yeah,
was there ever an initial date that a physical copy was going on sale?
No.
Amazon or something?
So I think Amazon has it now. I know it's like you can't listen to it on like if you use Spotify or anything like that. I think it's going up on Spotify on July 18th is when it's going up on all the digital platforms. I'm assuming it might be on sale through like Amazon by then. I'm not sure if it's on sale through Amazon yet or not.
I haven't
But it's
checked. I don't
it's
know.
it's kind of weird that there was no like official date. It was just kind of well, it's out now.
Right. Yeah, it was weird because they posted this like weird picture of this like weird color. I guess it ended up being part of the album cover. I'm like, what's going on here? Something's happening. They're either coming out with a new album or something. But then a couple of days later, they did that Talk Shop Live thing, man, and I was like, it's pretty cool. But the way they said they were going to release it was weird. You're right, dude. I don't, I don't know if I was a band like Styx. Yeah, you're well known, but I'd want to get it out there as much as possible, and so people can still listen to it. You know what I mean? But they obviously know what they're doing. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time, so yeah.
So
Like I
so
said, I'm still struggling to like this album though, in general though. So
so how about you, Joseph?
I like it. I think it's at this point, and I've only listened to it a couple times. Of the three that they've done since they started really making albums again, it's my least favorite of the three. But I still think there's a lot of good stuff. I really loved the first single. Um, and then there's some other stuff I think I really liked as well. But there's some stuff that it's still, I think, going to grow on me a little bit as well that I didn't like quite as much. When we get back and talk about the two previous albums, there was some stuff that grabbed me right away on those two previous albums that didn't grab me as much on this one. But I do love how they with the early pre-orders, all the band members, including Chuck Panazzo, signed it right there. So even Chuck Panazzo was autographing all the copies as well. That's pretty cool that they even included him because I think he played on like 1 or 2 songs on here, but they included him on all the autographs. It's all 7 of them that autographed it.
That's cool and all, but mine doesn't have no scribbles. See, it's a full ruined by scribbling autographs.
right,
Those pesky autographs. See? But
just decreases the value of it.
I ordered this And then I saw right after I ordered it, like a day or two, people getting autograph copies. And what it was the actual Styx website, right?
So the one that Jerry and I pre-ordered it through was the website that they had the video conference on. It was called Talk Shop Live. I know Garth Brooks uses it a ton for his pre-orders and stuff, but Styx used it as well. And I think the only way you could get the autographed copy was through that website. And then if you ordered it on Styx's website, it wasn't autographed.
Yeah, because I got a link. Hey, you want to buy the new Styx? And I clicked it, and it was something like $11. It was a good
Yeah.
price. And I was like, shit, that's cheap. So I ordered this from that company that thankfully they sent me a copy with no scribble all over it and shit. But all right, I'm gonna pick the next one.
Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna pick a vinyl now instead of a. All right, oh, this. All right, I got something to say about this one.
Oh, there we go. The debut.
Very first Styx album. By the way, that one that Joseph is holding up, I had first. I bought that. I don't know when did they start making those in 1980?
Yeah, right around 80.
around there.
Yeah.
I bought it when it was new, the Styx one. I didn't have this copy. I found this later, and that one I ended up giving to a friend. I like this copy. They're burning in hell, man. How cool is that? And all right, let me go into this album before, because I already know what both of you think about this, because there's a killer episode, and they really get into the details I don't know about, you know? And I was telling Joseph earlier, I've been listening to the Wooden Nickel, that CD, that's over there. I was listening to it now. Yeah, that. I've been listening to that for like, before you guys started the show, maybe 2 months. It's been like 2 months now. And then you guys announced, we're going to start a show. And I've been listening to that shit nonstop. So, yeah, it's a peculiar album, but the more I listen to it, man, I got to tell you, and I know both of you don't agree. And I got to also bring up the fact that I have seen other YouTube channels talk about Styx. And there was this one that they were doing like a Wheel of Fortune type of thing.
Yeah,
And,
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
yeah, and they put this all the way at the bottom. I think it was Pete Pardo put it real low. Everybody puts this shit super low. I gotta tell you, man, the more I listen to this, I think this may be my favorite of the Wooden Nickel stuff. And I know it's weird to say because the band didn't really write much on it. But my God, this shit I was listening to today, I was like, I don't know, man. I think I like this one the best. So it has grown on me a lot. Like the copy that Joseph had, I'm telling you, man, I went through all these decades with that record, hardly ever played it. You know, I would play it here and there, and it never really grabbed me. But now it's like I've been forcing this shit in my brain that I really like this album a lot, but anybody that will listen to it on a first listen, I can totally understand how you wouldn't get this album. But man, that first song, yeah, it's interrupted by spoken words, which is stupid.
So I actually like that part. I think it's kind of funny, actually, about what they're talking about. But that's just my opinion, I guess. I'm in the minority there.
Well, the thing is, Jerry, I don't like shit like that. Like the beginning of Detroit Rock City, I hate it.
Oh yeah.
I want to get into the song, or in this case, I want to get back to the song. But hey, you know, it's cool if you like it. But I thought it was fucking awesome, and that is my favorite track. That whole
Yeah.
common.
The movement for the common man.
Yeah, and the rest is rocking. You know, Dennis DeYoung's hardly on it. It's mostly JY. Does John sing on this one? I don't think so. Does he?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he sings on the next one. But I dig the first Styx album. Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I the more I listen to it, the more I like it. A little bit of a behind the scenes tidbit here, and we talked about it on our episode a little bit. We actually had to re-record our episode on this album, and so I listened to it an extra time between when we recorded it, and I did like it a little bit more every time I listened to it. Like I said, my biggest complaint about it was just that it wasn't their songs, and the songwriting didn't really grab me as much as some of their songs, especially on Styx II. I think that the songwriting on Styx II is just amazing. And even though I think the songs didn't grab me as much on this one, like I said on the episode, the instrumentation, the playing from all the band members is just great, especially for a first album. You can tell they're a young, hungry band that's really trying to get their name out there. And you can really hear that on this album.
Especially the Panasa brothers, man. Those four Wood and Nickel albums, man. They were letting loose back then on their bass and drums, man.
Yeah.
Just killer rhythm section back then.
Right on. All right, let me pick the next one. The ones that you guys didn't think I had.
That's the one I didn't think you had. Yeah.
Cyclorama. What do you think of this one?
I'd give it I don't know. It definitely isn't one of their better ones. I do like Waiting for Our Time to Come and oh shit, what's the slow song on it? They had a video for it. Fuck, can't think of the name of it right now.
I haven't listened to this enough. I feel like the new album too. This one I can't really.
Yeah, there's a weird song they did with Billy Bob Thornton on that album. I don't really care about. I mean, it's okay. I like Glenn Burtnick, man. I thought he was. I mean, you're never going to replace Tommy Shaw, but he did admirably. I saw him on the Edge of the Century tour. In Sunrise Musical Theater in Lauderdale. You might be familiar with that place, Ralph. Yeah, I'm from West Palm. But I'm from West Palm, so yeah.
I saw Randy Rhoads at that place.
Yeah, is it still there? Do you know?
No, it's a church.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I saw a lot of cool shows there. But anyway, that's my first time ever seeing Styx, and I thought he did a great job. But as far as Cyclorama is concerned, I think he was playing bass on that one, if I remember right. Correct? Joseph?
Yeah.
It's a decent album. I mean, it's just something I'll listen to maybe once or twice a year. That's about it. But other than that, yeah, that's all I really got to say about it. It's decent. It's not terrible.
You think? What do you think, Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of similarly to Jerry. That's one I'm looking forward to revisiting when we get to that point in the show. But just from the few times I've listened to it, it's not one that I've listened to too much. But just for the few times I listened to it, there's a couple songs, like Jerry said, that stick out. But overall, I think it was more of just, I think it was a bit of a letdown after the previous album, which we'll probably talk about here. But I think it's an okay album. It's not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, God damn! Look at all those songs.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of long ass albums. Even if the long album is great, make it 2 albums. I feel that way about the last Van Halen album. I love it, but cut that shit in half. Give me another half. Because all Van Halen albums were 30 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I can tell you, I bought it, I played it, I don't remember it. All right, now let's go with a vinyl. Oh, I love this one.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
This is probably my second favorite Styx album, actually.
Wow.
This would be, I will say, and I know probably you guys won't agree, but I think the only Styx album that there's not one dud on it is Grand Illusion. This one, there's only one dud on it. Well, really, I mean, kind of, yeah. I'm not a fan of Jennifer, but the rest is amazing. And Ballerina, the last song on here. Holy mackerel, what an epic killer song that they don't play,
Right.
Put Me On's a great opener. Mademoiselle is probably my favorite on there, along with Crystal Ball. Rock and Roll Shoes, This Old Man. I love this album. What do you guys think?
Why don't you go first, Joe?
Yeah, this is right in the classic period here. I always kind of found it so interesting how much creative input Tommy Shaw had on this album
Right.
when he had just joined the band. Yeah. When he had just joined the band, and especially something that Jerry and I talked about on our episode that we recorded today, that by the time that John Serlewski left the band, his creative input had really dramatically decreased in the band from how much he had input on, especially Styx II and The Serpent is Rising. He had pretty much no creative input on Man of Miracles or Equinox aside from like one song. So for Tommy to come in the band and immediately have practically credit on half the album, and then especially Crystal Ball being the big song off the album, they named the album after it, being a Tommy song, it's kind of cool. But yeah, no, this album is amazing. Put Me On, I picked for when we did our top 10 songs we wish they'd bring back into the set list I picked that song. Mademoiselle's a great song. Crystal Ball, the first time I saw them play that live, it was one of those where you just stand there and just stare at them because it was just such a great experience getting to see Tommy Shaw play that song live. And then the whole side too, like you said, Shoes, This Old Man, and then Ballerina. Great, very solid album, especially so early with Tommy coming into the lineup. They gel pretty much immediately on this one.
Yeah, man, I think it's a great album. Like you said, it's weird that a new member comes in and it kind of takes over the album like Tommy did, but it worked. I mean, definitely, upgraded the band a lot, especially with Shoes. I love that song. It's a great rocking song. And then he could do something like Sing for the Day, which is a cool, slow growing song with just grooves. I love it. And then Mademoiselle, I mean, great songs off that album. I love this album, man. Never get tired of it. And you mentioned Crystal Ball. It's funny about that because I saw them live a few years ago. They actually did the second verse that is hardly ever played, and people don't realize that there's actually a second verse to Crystal Ball. I think you can find it on YouTube somewhere, him singing it. But that was actually a really cool surprise, man. I love that. So yeah, great album.
I didn't know that. I gotta look for that now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than the album version.
Yeah, they add a second verse.
Yeah.
All right, man, I suck tonight because this is another one I probably heard once and never heard again. What's this? Brave New World, right?
Brave New
World, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you, but these guys probably can because
it's a hell of a lot better than this Brave New World.
Oh, okay, but that ain't saying much. I know I'm gonna upset.
That's true.
I'm gonna upset people by saying that, but
that's true.
Yeah, I heard it once. There's a lot of Styx. I just bought Styx CDs like crazy, and I would put them on, never play them again. I can't remember because this isn't off. If I knew that we were doing it next week, I would have listened to these. So I have no input, but it doesn't matter because Heavy Water 77 knows what's up. And check them out and subscribe to Heavy Waters. If you dig Styx, you have to. But anyway, what do y'all think of Brave New World?
I think it's a very underrated album. As a matter of fact, it has a song where I named the YouTube channel Heavy Water on it. It's a great duet with JY, and Tommy. It's a really cool rocking tune. And if you know in the past, Tommy Shaw and JY songs together are pretty fucking good. Snowblind, for instance. I mean, what a great song that is. But it's full of great songs. I Will Be Your Witness is a good song. The title track is cool. While There's Still Time. Yeah, it's a solid, album. It kind of goes under the radar as far as Styx is, a lot of even the hardcore Styx fans don't even really know much about this album. So I dig it. I think it's definitely better than Cyclorama. But I love it. So what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I think it's a great album. I think it gets buried because of what was going on in the band at the time. Because, of course, everyone knows they got back together to do Lady 95 on the greatest hits. Then they did this tour where he got Return to Paradise.
All right, I have that DVD, but that CD I don't own, but that's not the one. Okay, so I'm missing two. That one.
There you go.
You know what? I got to say before we start, that's one of my all-time favorite DVDs that actually is the first thing I played a couple days ago on my brand new LG 4K. I have the DVD. The DVD looked amazing, but that's one of my favorite shot releases ever.
Oh yeah, this is a great concert. The band sounds amazing, and that honestly one of the reason other than the fact that the band I think still sounds really great, Todd Zuckerman on drums I think just gave the band so much life, really honored the legacy of John Panazzo just so well. Because you look at the older stuff, John Panazzo was such an underrated member of this band.
He was.
And a lot of what he did was just so unheralded. And you have somebody like Todd Zuckerman come in and just a beast on drums, but being
hard
able to
hitter, man.
all those songs so well. And I think he's one of the most integral members of the band to this day. I think he's probably one of the biggest reasons that band's still around is Todd Zuckerman. If you look at his Facebook page, he's the one that's really pushing them to kind of keep going on all kinds of different stuff, keep making music, but also he's really the one that really influenced them to bring back a lot of older songs. They did that medley on the Cyclorama tour. That was all Todd Zuckerman. He's the one that put that together to bring out songs like Put Me On and Mademoiselle and Shoes and Midnight Ride and all these songs, put them in a medley. That was all Todd Zuckerman's idea. But his drumming on this is amazing. And then the album Brave New World, that was kind of meant to be the follow up to this. That was the studio album? They did like they did this, then they did that tour. They played the Grand Illusion in full, and then they went into the studio to record Brave New World. They put the album out. 2 months later, Dennis is out of the band. So it kind of got buried. The album got buried in the lead a little bit. And I think that people don't go back to that album as much just because of the kind of controversy surrounding that era of the band. That was when Dennis got fired, right when that album came out. But I think the album itself. What'd you say?
No, I'm saying, so they didn't play no shows from that.
No, not with Dennis. They brought Gowan into the band right after that album came out. I think they did like one show on, like, it was filmed, I think it was at Disney or something. They did one show after that album came out with Dennis, and you can see it. I think it's on YouTube. I don't know if they played anything off that album or not, but I know they did a show. And then right after that, when they announced the tours, when Dennis was having all the health issues and stuff that he was having, like, I think he was like sensitive to light or something like that. That was why he didn't want to go out and tour. And they said, okay, well, fine, then stay home. We're going out and touring. And they brought in Lawrence Gowan, and then they're still touring with him. So I think that's a big reason why people don't talk about that album as much, because right when it came out was when the band split. You really didn't have a chance to see that version of the band with Dennis playing those songs live. But I think
I compared to Journey's Trial by Fire, which I thought was a great album, but the problems they were having with Steve Perry, didn't want to tour, he wanted to take time off, and the album just tanked because they couldn't tour with it and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame because both those albums were really good, but they don't get any, recognition among Journey or Styx fans, and it sucks because they're great.
Okay.
And speaking of Return to Paradise, I saw that in West Palm Beach at the Coral Sky.
I was there.
Coral Sky Amphitheater. I don't know if that's still around either, but man, I tell you, as a lifelong Styx fan, seeing that was just like a dream come true. It's almost as good as the Kiss reunion, in my opinion. It was that, it meant that much to me.
I got a funny story. I went to that show with my friend Holy George, who just likes death metal. He's like a death metal guy. And I took him to see Styx. I was like, dude, you may not like it, but I love Styx. And they got back together, and I'm going, bro. You want to go? And he's like, sure, we'll go. Well, we went, and of course, he's fucking, what the fuck's this shit? But when they played Queen of Spades, which was mind-blowing, they played that. He went, whoa, that shit's good, bro. That Queen of Spades was all, and then, of course, they played Babe and shit,
And then he was out.
But yeah, I was at that same show, Jerry. I was freaking out. I saw Styx 2 times prior to that. I saw Paradise Theater and Kilroy, but I'll talk about it when we get into those.
Damn, man, you saw those two? That's awesome, man. I would love to see.
I saw those 2 tours, yeah.
My first one was Edge of the Century.
Let me grab
just quickly, for those who don't know, Holy George, one half of the great vocal duo of Holy Fuck.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
On the Lucifer Crematataf Merciful Fate tribute album.
You are correct, sir. That's right. My buddy, Holy George. Anyway, all right, so I want to talk about this one. I pulled this out anyway, just because this was the tour. The first time I saw Styx, it was the first show of the tour at the Hollywood Sportatorium. That when I met Dennis DeYoung in 2018 or so, what happened was I saw Dennis DeYoung live. And after the show, I bumped into my friend Heidi, who I haven't seen in years, and her friend Maria, who I haven't seen in decades. And Maria works for PBS, the TV station. And for somewhere or another, she got access to go see Dennis DeYoung. So she told me, hey, Dennis DeYoung is going to take pictures with fans. You can take a picture with anything, but I'm asking you, will you be the cameraman? And I said, okay. So I took pictures of Dennis, and I had a Kansas shirt on. And Dennis goes, oh, Kansas, this and that. And he starts talking, going out, and then I just cut him off. I go, Dennis, I saw the very first show of the Paradise Theater Tour at the Sportatorium. He's like, oh my God, I remember that show. I was so nervous. And he went into this whole spiel about the show. And then when I did take a picture with Dennis, Dennis goes, everybody sing Dust in the Wind. He's so wacky.
That sounds like Dennis. That does. That sounds like him.
He was very wacky and very animated. But anyway, I do love this album. I will say the complaint of the show, and you guys will probably find this hard to believe, but maybe it was because it was the first show of the tour. They didn't play Snowblind that night.
Really?
It was like, what? Because this album came out like maybe 2 months, and I wore it out. Yeah, they played Halfpenny, Two Penny. They played what else? They played pretty much all the hits.
Mm-hmm.
Lonely People, and but they didn't play Snowblind. When I saw Kilroy, they played Snowblind. But yeah, I love this album, man. This album was huge. Didn't it hit #1?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love the B side. I love that whatever you call that
Hologram.
etching or whatever it is. I think that's really cool. That blew my mind as a kid seeing it. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Can you make it out? You can make it out.
But that was one of the albums that actually got me into Styx. Now my sister had that. I used to go over to her apartment and just wear that album out. I loved it. I used to call the radio stations and request all the singles off it. And man, just Halfpenny, Two Penny, man, it's turned into one of my favorite Styx songs. That is such a great rocking song. I mean, JY is an incredible vocalist, man. I wish he'd sing more, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have that radio-friendly voice that they wanted when they made it to the arena stage of the group. I don't know, but his songs rock, and I thought they were really cool. And that album is freaking awesome. It still, to this date, sounds fresh to me. Doesn't get old.
What do you think, Joseph?
This was actually one of the first Styx albums I ever owned. This is my dad's original copy from '81. When I grew up, the first Styx album I had, we'll probably talk about here pretty soon, was Pieces of Eight. We had it on cassette. We listened to it in my mom's car all the time. We wore that thing out. And then when I was probably 4 or 5, my dad finally, when the internet was really starting to become popular, somehow found a website that a guy was selling needles, because my dad's needle on his turntable broke before I was born and he had never replaced it. And so he finally got a needle for his turntable. And this and The Grand Illusion were both albums that he had on vinyl from back in the day. And so I used to listen to this album all the time. It was this, The Grand Illusion, Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare, Kiss Double Platinum. That was a lot of the stuff that he had on vinyl. So I was really familiar with this album growing up. And I still love this album. It was so cool. Even though it's not one of my favorite songs on the album, when they pulled out, when I saw them last year at this little theater, they announced kind of out of the blue about a month before the show, they were playing this little theater near me. It was about a 1,500 seat theater. And they played it. They headlined. They had a cool band opening for them. Some young kids that played Southern rock. It was pretty cool. And last year on tour, they brought the Best of Times back into the set for the first time in 25 years. And so that was the first time I had gotten to see that song live. It's really cool to be able to see that. And then, of course, they always play Rockin' the Paradise. They always play Too Much Time on My Hands. I've not gotten to see them play Snowblind. That is one I would kill to see them play live. But thankfully, I still have this to watch them play Snowblind. So, but yeah, no, I think it's Paradise Theater is a great album. They were on quite a run at that point. We'll talk about an album from that time that I don't like as much. But yeah, Paradise Theater, I think, was a great album that really brought them into the 80s.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Let me pick another one here. Going back to Wood and Nickel, Man of Miracle. This was the very last Styx album I bought because I couldn't. Oh, look at that version.
Yeah, what's with that?
Where's the man?
It's a bunch of women diving into a swimming pool. I don't know.
Like, wow,
and a plane.
That is so stupid.
It is.
And some planets on the back.
Don't show it yet, but do you have Serpent is Rising as well.
Yep.
From that? All right.
Mhm.
Show when I show that one. But this one, actually, for a while, I thought this was the best one. Now I think it's the first one. But I think it's a great album, man. It rocks. I love the title track. I love Christopher, Mr. Christopher, which I wouldn't say an argument, but I mentioned I like that song, and somebody was telling me that song is so overrated. And I'm like, overrated? Ain't nothing overrated on the Wooden Nickel albums. And he goes,
Right.
Yeah.
no, people bring up album, they always say Christopher, St. Christopher. And I'm like, well, dude, I love an overrated song. Fuck it. That may be my favorite song on here. But yeah, Golden Lark is cool. Rock and roll feeling. But yeah, Christopher St. Christopher. I do dig this album a lot. What do you all think?
Yeah, I love it too. I think the title track is phenomenal, man. I love the intro to that. It's kind of like medieval, like watching one of those old medieval movies. And
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the AC. I'll be right back.
all right, and it just turns into a pretty killer rocking song with great vocals by JY. I know it's a version that Joseph has. They actually replaced Lies with Unfinished Song, which is kind of a Dennis DeYoung ballad, which is actually probably the better song of the two. I mean, Lies is the cover, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christopher, it's a great song. Rock and roll feeling, Evil Eyes. It's just loaded with great tunes. I think it was a great way to end their wood and nickel run. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. We just recorded our episode that'll be coming out this weekend on Serpent is Rising. So this is the next one that we're going to be recording an episode on, and I'm really excited to talk about this one because I think this is a really solid album as well. Like Jerry said, probably the only reason to own this version on vinyl is because it has Unfinished Song on it, which I think is an amazing track. Jerry and I talked about it when we talked about one of the earlier albums because Unfinished Song is on the CD. They
Is
included it.
Unfinished Song at the end of that vinyl?
No, they replaced Lies, the opening track of side two.
Oh, a
Um,
cover song, right?
yeah. So they take that off. That Lies is not on this version, but Unfinished Song is.
Lies is not on here.
Oh.
Best Thing is what starts side two.
Oh, you have that version. Okay.
Wow,
There's
you got a unique version there,
yeah,
man.
that was the second edition of that album.
Yeah,
They replaced Lies with Best Thing from the first album.
yeah.
Okay, this has Rock and Roll Feeling, Having a Ball, Golden Lark, A Song for Suzanne, A Man Like Me, Best Thing, Evil Eyes, Southern Woman, Christopher, Mr. Christopher, and Man of Miracles.
Yeah, so that's the second edition of that album. They took Lies off the album. They must not have liked that cover because they took it off on that
No.
version and they took it off on this version.
I do like it, but so what version is Lies on the very first pressing?
Yes, it's on like
Yes.
the original pressing. It's not on the second pressing and it's not on the RCA pressing either.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's on the CD.
That's a pretty cool copy you got there, Ralph. Seriously.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not as cool as Joseph's cover, but it'll do.
No, not even the same league.
We are that album that Joseph has is fucking futuristic. What it is, if you look at it, all those are dudes. They're just transitioning. You know what I mean?
They were anticipating the future.
Exactly. They knew that was going to happen. That's why it's that way. All right. So did we all talk about Man of
Wait,
Miracles?
does the plane mean that they were anticipating 9/11 or what?
Yeah, I mean, my daughter at 5 years old could do a better cover than that. I don't get these covers from RCA at all, man.
I like
Don't
some of
get
them. I like some of them.
Oh,
I do.
man,
I think the one for the first album with the big logo is cool. I like that one.
yeah, okay. The car at the bottom though is kind of weird. I don't know, dude. I guess to each their own, man.
I prefer to see them burning in hell. That's
Yeah,
okay.
with their shirts off, of course.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
that's why they're burning in hell.
So I'm going to pick another one. Oh, this one's a popular one.
Never heard of it.
What the hell is up with this album cover? Can you guys explain this album cover to me?
Nope.
Huh?
Couldn't tell you.
I know it's hypnosis and stuff, but really? This
Don't
should
get the
I was gonna say, yeah.
that's the album cover. I mean, weird. These old ladies. Well, middle age. But yeah, it's a classic. You know, to me, my favorite song on here is Queen of Spades, but I think Tommy Shaw kind of owns this album. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not a fan of Aku Aku. I don't know what that's about. I still don't know. And I bought this in 1978. So what is that? 43 years already?
47.
47 years, and I still don't understand Aku Aku. Maybe one of you guys do. I don't care for the message. Um, there's some things I don't care about, but Queen of Spades, Blue Collar Man, Renegade makes up for it. You know, I'm okay. It's a cool tune.
Love that song.
Yeah. I saw them play I'm Okay, but it wasn't with Dennis DeYoung, like around 2013, around there.
You must have saw the Pieces of a Grand Illusion tour.
Oh.
They did the whole album. No. Oh,
I
wow.
know
Okay.
I have that DVD. I know they did a tour where they played both of them. This show they weren't. It was just a.
They kept I'm Okay in the set list after that for a little while. There was a couple songs that when they did this that they hadn't played in forever that they kept in the set list for a little while. I'm Okay was one. They would play Superstars quite a bit after that. I'm trying to think what else. Castle Walls, I think they played quite a bit after
I think
this.
Sweet
tour.
Night of Blues was in their regular set list for a while too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
After that,
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the songs that they let go for some reason. I wish they'd bring some of these back because, but yeah, I mean, Pieces of Eight, man. I think it's my second favorite Styx album. I dig Great White Hope. I think it's a great killer opening. You know, the title track. Holy shit, what a great song that is. Yeah, Aku Aku is cool. I mean, it's nothing but an instrumental. I don't know. I kind of compare it, and you're probably gonna, refute this, but I kind of compare it to Fractured Mirror from Ace Frehley, the way it, ends an album, this and that. It's just a cool little instrumental. I dig it. I'm Okay, of course. I think it's a great song. The only one I can do without is Lord of the Rings. I don't care for that song too much. I know a lot of people love that song, but
I don't.
Yeah.
It's easily my least favorite on the album.
I mean, Blue Collar Man, Renegade. I mean, like Ralph said, man, makes up for any lapse on this album because they're great fucking songs, man. Tommy fucking Shaw, man.
Amazing stuff. Did we all talk about Piece of Eight?
I didn't go fully into it yet, but like I said, this was the first album I ever heard in full by Styx. I had, like I said, I had this on cassette, and my family had the Classics Volume, whatever it was, those purple albums that A&M put out in the 80s when CDs first came out. I had that on CD, and I had this on cassette tape. And so I knew this album front to back before I knew pretty much any other album by any other band. I knew this, Kiss Destroyer, Scorpion, most of the Scorpions. My dad had all those Scorpions albums. I was a very lucky kid because at 4 years old, I knew who Uli John Roth was, and that's important right there. But this album I think it's so great. I'm really hoping this year they're doing Grand Illusion live in its entirety live, and I'm really hoping next year that they do this.
Yeah, I don't think they will for the simple reason. Simple reason because JY sings 2 songs off that album. He even admits himself that he's checked out.
Yeah,
he's just there for the ride. And the only one he really sings nowadays is Miss America. That's about it. He used to sing Lorelei for a while, but now
he used to sing Light Up too. The first time I saw him, which was I just did a little short on it yesterday, was 7 years from the first time that I ever saw Styx on the Mission tour. And when they played Light Up at that show, JY sang it. But now the last couple times I've seen them, Lawrence Gowan sings it. Lawrence Gowan sings Lorelei now. Pretty much, like you said, the only thing that JY sings anymore is Miss America.
Yeah.
And when
guys pushing 80, I mean, if he's not there already.
When they would play the title track from Crash of the Crown live, he sang that too. But that was about it. But if you just want to know the power of this album, one of the weirdest places I ever saw Styx play, every year I go to the M3 Rock Festival. This year, David Lee Roth made headlines because he headlined one of the nights. But it's very 80s hard rock. It's very like cock rock, hair metal focused. It's Kix always headlined it. Rat did a lot of stuff with it. Dokken played there a lot. Cinderella, like that kind of stuff. Late 80s. I believe it was 2 years ago, out of the blue, they hired Styx to headline one of the nights of this festival, which is just the weirdest place for Styx to play. and they opened up with To Those off of Crash of the Crown, because those couple tours they've been opening up from with a lot of stuff from Crash of the Crown, and the crowd was like, "Yeah, this is cool, yeah." And then as soon as that song ended, dun 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 dun, and the crowd went nuts. And the crowd, I'll tell you what, probably one of the best receptions for a band I've ever seen at M3 was Styx. They
Wow.
had the crowd in their hand the entire time. And when they went right into Blue Collar Man, that was what really got the crowd into it. And so I think this is still such a great album to listen to, especially some of those songs you guys mentioned, Queen of Spades, Renegade, especially. Being from Pennsylvania, Renegade is very important to us because it's the theme song for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Uh, Styx has even come and played live at the stadium when they've had games and stuff. So, yeah, this is a very special album to me. I love this album a lot.
Right on. All right. Next pick is, and I got this, and it came in a weird case. Crash of the Crown. What is this, man? It's look like, I don't know, man. This ain't normal. I
Mm-mm.
think it's yeah. No, you know why? I just noticed this right now. Look what it says right there. It's from the public library.
You got a library copy.
Yeah, Baltimore County Public Library.
Hey, you got it from up my way.
Yeah, there you go. Again, I played this. I did play this more than once. I played it a few times, and I dug it, but I don't really go back to it much. But I didn't hate it. But there was one. It was, and I can't tell you what the name of the song was. It was acoustic-y that I really liked. And Tommy sang it. Was it
Hold back the darkness.
maybe it was our wonderful lives kind of,
Yes.
that's acousticy.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I
Yeah.
really like that song.
The last time I saw them live, when they played at that little theater. So Tommy told a fun little story. This album they recorded over COVID. And when he was sitting around the house during COVID with nothing else to do, he decided to learn how to play the mandolin. And that's what he's playing on that song is the mandolin. And he brought it out on stage and played the mandolin live when they did this song, which is kind of cool. And that's one of my favorite songs on this album as well. I love that. I love the title track. Reveries is a great song. Sound the Alarm. I think this is a pretty solid album. I saw them right when this album came out. That's where actually I got this shirt live when I saw them. It was them and REO Speedwagon right when this album came out at my local state fair, because of course it was. But they did a great show. And they played a couple songs off this. They for these every time I saw them after this album came out, they actually played. I've seen them play probably 5 or 6 different songs off this album, which is pretty cool that they did that. And when we get to the Mission, I'll talk about that. They played a lot of that album the night I saw them. They played a lot of this album. They played a lot of the Mission. So they're one of those bands that they put out an album and actually play it. They don't just put out an album and you never hear it ever again.
All right.
They fall into a pretty good medium. You either have somebody like Iron Maiden or Dream Theater who will play the entire new album on every show of the tour, or you'll have a band like Kiss who will never play a single goddamn song from any of those albums ever again. They actually play some of their newer stuff fairly often live, which is pretty cool. But I think this is a pretty decent album.
Yeah, like I said, I had so much trouble with this album when it first came out. Up until
Mark
recently,
and I gave you shit for so long about that album.
It is what it is. If you don't like something, you don't like something. But man, it's starting to grow on me. Like I said, I'm forcing myself to like these albums because I'm doing a fucking Styx show. I'm not going to say this album sucks to a bunch of Styx fans. But 2 great songs on it are "Hold Back the Darkness" and "Save Us from Ourselves." I think are incredible songs. Of course, this is when Will Ivanovich kind of took over I wouldn't say main songwriting duties, but he's definitely a big part of this album. And maybe that's the problem I had with it because they have, this guy. I guess wasn't he with Blades and Shaw
Yes.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that?
was
So he's
how
been
he
with
and Tommy
Tommy.
met.
Yeah, he's been with Tommy for a while, but still, it's like I don't know, man. I just wish they would get back to writing amongst themselves. I know it's probably an undertaking to do all this by yourself, especially how old they are now. But still, man, I'd like to see them write their own stuff. But it is what it is. It's growing on me. So who knows? By the time we do that review, I may love it. But right now, it's just kind of stuck in Averageville to me.
All right, let me pick another one. All right, this one I guess we won't have to talk about, but here's a little odd one I got. The best of Styx. The wooden nickel shit. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know that existed.
They do. Yep, they have an RCA version of that one too.
Even that one.
Yep. They couldn't even let this one get away.
Well, I guess I mean, I know all these songs, but I have not played this. I don't think in many years, but because I listened to these albums. But
Yeah,
I mean,
this isn't one of those where like they put like bonus tracks or anything on it. It's just it's all songs that were released on the albums.
yeah, and I see like my favorite songs from the Wooden Nickel era are not on here. You
Yeah.
know, Christopher St. Christopher, Oh Father's not on here. Uh, anyway, yeah, whatever. I don't really have much to say about it, but I
Yeah, I'm
do.
with you. I don't really have much to say about it either. I mean, it's got some cool tunes off it. I don't think it definitely doesn't not have their best songs in my opinion, but it's I guess it's okay. That's all I have to say about it.
Bam! Cornerstone. 1979. They really took a big commercial leap on this one. Huge. But this album I bought when it was brand new, and it's very special to me. Yeah, I don't like the.
I fucking hate that album the way it's put together. I
You
hate
have,
it.
yeah, you have to put it in plastic or it might fall out.
I cannot tell
Right.
you how many times I've walked into a record store and just seen this. I have probably seen dozens of copies without this part and just the silver part. I've seen that with price tags on it so many times. Just as I'm sure these probably got destroyed.
Yeah, I put mine in plastic. I don't mess around.
Yeah.
I love Boat on a River. It's probably my favorite song on here. But I love Love in the Midnight. That song is amazing. Eddie rocks. Borrowed Time's a cool tune. Lights. Why Me is goofy but great. Why Me was played a lot on the radio back then. That was a song that was played as much as Babe, actually. But yeah, Babe and First Time, come on. All right, a little too much there. But never say
Yeah,
never.
Tommy was like, fuck this. If we release first time, I'm out of here, man. He's like, I remember what behind the music he was talking about. It's like he did not want that song to be released as a single. He's like, I am fucking out of here if you're releasing this as a single next. But yeah, I mean, it's Borrowed Time is a great song. I don't care for the yes and no part that much, but Joseph said they did a version where they don't include that in the song live, which that probably would have been cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking I was at Kroger a couple weeks ago and they actually played Why Me on the fucking speaker on the Muzak, whatever the hell it's called. And I was like really blown away by that. I'm like, I've never expected to hear that on the Muzak system. I remember I recorded a video about that as it was happening. But yeah, it's a good album. Babe, take it or leave it, in my opinion. It's a typical Dennis ballad. I mean, but yeah, I mean, songs like Eddie's a great song. I Could Do Without First Time. Yeah, it's a great fucking album, dude. Love it.
Yeah, this is an album that I really didn't know that much growing up because on that
Lights. Sorry,
Lights,
that's a great
yeah.
song. Fucking A.
On that classics volume, whatever it was, I think volume 15 or whatever. I have the Nazareth one back here, but I don't have the Styx one anymore. But the only song from this album that was on that was Babe. So I knew Babe. And they played that on the radio a lot. But my local radio didn't really play anything off of this album except for Babe, so I really didn't know anything else off this album till I ended up getting it when I was probably 10 or 11 or so was when I got this on vinyl. And I'm pretty hit or miss on it. I love Lights. I love Love in the Midnight, love Eddie. Boat on the River is an amazing song. But pretty much all the Dennis stuff I cannot stand. Borrowed Time, I've made it very clear on many shows. Live, I think it's amazing. If you look at the bootlegs from the Paradise Theater tour, I think it sounds great. There was one show, if I believe it was around 2010 or so. You look on YouTube, they actually used to open their concerts with Borrowed Time around 2010. But what they would do the first two verses and choruses, and Tommy and JY would go back and forth singing, which is pretty cool. Tommy would sing the first verse, JY sang the second verse, which was pretty awesome. And then right when they would be going into the yes and no part, which I think is the worst thing on the song, they went into the riff from Superstars and they did like a little medley. So instead of the yes no, they did dun 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 dun, dun and did the solo from Pieces of Eight. They did a couple other things, kind of like what they used to do with the Cyclo medley. They did pieces of that, but they added it on to. They did like 3 minutes of Borrowed Time, did that, and then closed it out with one last chorus of Borrowed Time, which is really cool. I love. I don't think there's any pro shot videos of it, but there's some videos on YouTube from 2010 that are in pretty good condition that they sound great. But yeah, this is a pretty for being in right in like dead center in their classic run. I think this is a pretty hit or miss album. But the stuff I love on it, I think, is amazing. Like I said, Lights, Boat on the River, Love in the Midnight, Eddie, some really great stuff, but also some really, really bad stuff too.
It was definitely there was a crack in the armor around this time with those two different camps, the Dennis camp and the JY and Tommy camp. You could just tell by the interviews that this album just wasn't what everybody wanted or agreed upon. But it's a good album though, nonetheless.
They temporarily fired Dennis after this
That's
album,
true. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which was crazy. They
I
just
know.
put it with him. It's wild. But anyway, all right. This next one, I really don't want you guys to talk about it because it's your next episode. By the way, show this one, Joseph.
I think I understand the symbolization of that picture. If you come to think about it.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Not really much on the back of this one. There's
No.
the rest of them. There's some drawings on the back. This one doesn't really have.
Yeah, that was RCA trying to get every last dime they could and put it out in the cheapest mode possible, in my opinion.
Just look just look at the lips on that snake. Those are some big juicy lips. Yeah, all right.
Good boy.
The next Heavy Water 77, they're gonna talk about this album, so I'm not gonna spoil it by you guys talking about it. I love it. I'll talk about it. I fucking love it. This is I like Witch Wolf, the groove of
Eglantine.
yeah,
Eglantine.
shit, man.
Ovaltine, whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
22 years I dug.
Love 22 Years. That's a great fucking song.
Yeah. So check out Heavy Water 77 because their next episode is on this, and I'm not allowing them to talk about it here because I don't want to spoil it. All right, next.
Appreciate it.
All right, next. You guys are taking score. You guys know which one are gonna know which one I haven't held on because we don't got many left.
I think I do.
All right, the Brave. What is this called again?
The Mission.
The Mission. Again, I gotta listen to it again. I do remember listening.
This is the one I recommend listening to. This is an amazing album.
Well, I'm gonna listen to it after this episode because this one I haven't heard since it was new. And I remember I didn't dislike it, but I don't know, man. I'm weird, man. I listen to the record, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then I never listened to it again. So this one I am slapping on after this episode. Jerry, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, of the three albums, like I said, Will wrote a lot of the songs. This is probably the best one, in my opinion. I mean, Gone, Gone, Gone is a great song. Lawrence, I still think plays Godive like before he does Come Sail Away. At least most of the time he does.
Yeah, every time I've seen him live, he does.
All Systems Stable is a great song. It's a solid album, man. I mean, it's not perfect. It does have a couple duds on it, but I think it's a solid record in my opinion.
Right on. Yeah, anything else you want to say, Joseph?
Yeah, I think this is a really solid album. This was, like I said, the first time I saw them live. I got this CD at the show. They were doing it. I think they still do it now, where if you go to the show and you pay $20, you get the CD plus you get a ticket for a chance to win a guitar. Like they're raising money for charity, I think. So that's how I got this CD, was at the show. I think this is a really solid album for their first album in however many years. This is a really solid album. There's some really great stuff, like Jerry said, Gone, Gone, Gone. 100 Million Miles from Home, Radio Silence,
Oh, that's a great song.
Red Storm, The Outpost is one they played live that night. I saw them. Mission to Mars. Just some really cool stuff. It's a concept album about a mission to Mars, of course, but I think it's a really solid one. You could tell Tommy, especially, was really creatively kind of juiced up at this time. He's the one that really pushed them to when he and Willa Vankovich did his solo album in the early 2010s. That was what really got his juices flowing again to want to write songs, and he pushed them to do this. And I think the whole band sounds great on this album. And I really loved seeing them play a lot of this live.
Right on. All right, all right, you guys will get a laugh out of this one. When you guys talked about this album, Styx II, I saw Jerry. Jerry was like, "Oh, the cover messed up,"
Oh,
and I'm like, "There's nothing wrong with my cover."
dude, try to stick it in the plastic. Those little things that stick out on in the letters, man, always get caught in the plastic and they ripped, and it was just.
Oh, that's ripped up.
I thought mine was fine. When Jerry said, I'm like, "Really? Mine's fucking perfect. Ain't nothing wrong with mine." I pulled it out now. I'm like, "Look, the ass is fucking, that thing's gone. The sticks." I think the T and the Y survived. And you can even see a piece of tear right here where the sticks was. So yeah, on this one is it's lame. But I gotta tell you, man, the more, like I say, I've been wearing out. Oh my God, look at that.
That's
They
the one
actually
I was one of the first ones I ever had at Styx, and I wore that cassette out.
they changed the title to Lady for this album.
Oh, okay, because I was like, what is it called? Addie? I don't see.
Lady.
because that's what they wanted to do. They
Lady.
want to capitalize off that song RCA did, so
Yeah,
they promoted the hell out of it.
that's wild, man. Those new covers. Is that still Wood and Nickel? Those covers?
It was
That's
RCA
RCA.
Records, but it says
I,
Wood and Nickel on the back of all of them.
I had the first one, the one that, Styx one. That one I did. But all right. So I've been listening to the complete Wood and Nickel shit. I gotta tell you, I like disc one even more, man. Because that first time I like it so much, but man, going into this is some great shit, man. Like Father QNA or ONA,
OSA.
Mm-hmm.
Day is amazing. I love a day. Earl of Roseland, and I'm gonna make you feel it.
Love that song.
I love this album, man. This is some cool shit. And yeah, I know you guys already talked about it, but if you want to go a little more into it, if you want to say, just a quick synopsis on Styx II, guys.
I mean, it may be my favorite of the Wood and Nickel era. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's a solid album, man. People out there may have heard of a little song called "Lady." I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but if so, it was definitely it was a moderate hit for the band, I guess. But no, seriously, it's a solid album all the way through. You Need Love and A Day. You Better Ask. I mean, it's just loaded. I think John Strelewski's on fire here with the two songs that he writes. It's one of the only albums that it does have JY on vocals, but he has no writing credits on it up until what Crash of the Crown, I think, and so forth. He doesn't have it. But yeah, he has no writing credits on that one. But his songs that he sings are awesome. You Need Love and I'm Gonna Make You Feel It are, great bookends to this album, man. It's a solid album, man.
Something I noticed today, and I can't pinpoint where, but the first song, there's a little piece in that song that they totally put in Heavy Metal Poisoning. Listen to that song, and there's a little piece in it. I'm like, that's Heavy Metal Poisoning. They read, there was a part in that song they put into Heavy Metal Poisoning. And Heavy Metal Poisoning, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, and I know it's a coincidence, but Too Fast for Love came out before Kilroy Was Here. Take Me to the Top is the same damn riff.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's the same damn riff. I know they didn't hear Motley Crue. It's just very coincidental, Yeah. I love Styx II.
Yeah, this album's amazing. This is, of the three we've reviewed so far, this is easily my favorite. I think this is an amazing album, front to back, super solid, really great stuff on here.
Yep, I gotta get in. All right, here's one. I love this album cover.
Hmm.
I just love the whole. There's something about A&M records back then, like Supertramp, Crime of the Century. That's
Hmm.
a badass album cover. This
Nazareth, Hair of the Dog.
Hair of the Dog. And this, man, wasn't Expect No Mercy on A&M?
Yep.
Another amazing cover.
No Mean City was on A&M too.
That's probably the best Nazareth cover, if you ask me.
Hmm.
But I love this, especially side two is
Yeah.
Born for Adventure.
Yeah.
I remember, man, being a little kid with this record with the headphones. Whoa, 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 whoa. Man, that shit was so awesome. That whole bass part, and it even goes shh, and it dun 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 dun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God. That shit's musical perfection. You know? Critics hated this shit. This is corporate rock. Well, I got some news for you, critics. Corporate rock kicks the living shit out of Jackson Brown. Case closed.
And if the critics don't like it, I'm probably gonna love it. So, fucking A.
I don't like it, I'm gonna love it. My favorite song on the album is actually my all-time favorite Styx song, Sweet Madam Blue.
Yeah, great
And
song.
boy, let me tell you, when I saw Styx back in the day, well, he also did it on Return of Paradise, where
Yeah.
Dennis goes, you conquered the world and
It
more.
just holds it for like a minute or so. Yeah.
Holds it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I saw him do it in Paradise Theater, the whole crowd was like, whoa, because it wouldn't stop. It just was going forever. It was just so amazing. It's such an amazing song. I love the sound of the guitars with the notes they choose. It's so mellow. Then that John fucking hitting the drums. Then it goes into Mega Rock City, man, with that killer solo. Who is that? Was that
That's JY.
Hmm.
That's James.
Yeah, that's JY.
Man, that shit rips. America, fuck. But I love, and I think Born for Adventure is like one of the greatest Styx songs too. One of my favorite Dennis songs. Midnight Ride. That's
Hmm.
a ripping tune, man.
Love that song.
Yeah, I love this album, man. Equinox, man, the first on A&M Records, right?
Hmm.
Yep.
What do y'all think?
Yeah, the first on AM and the last, the future John Serluski. I think he was pretty much checked out at that point. He knew probably his days were numbered. Um, his only song on it was Mother Dear. Well, he had a Prelude 12, I think it was called, an instrumental, but yeah, that was probably the worst song on the album. It's still pretty good, but yeah, they must have known his time with the band is coming to an end. But you're right about that second side though, man. It is so killer. I love the first side too. I mean, they do Light Up and Lorelei pretty much every set list that I remember. But yeah, I mean, hearing Dennis hold that note on Sweet Madam Blue, like you said, live, it's just, I mean, I first heard it on the Caught in the Act live, him doing that, holding it for a long time. But hearing him do it in person still was just fucking amazing, dude. Otherworldly, in my opinion. Great album, man. Great first album for A&M. And it was pretty much all JY on leads on this one. Like, as I said, JC was pretty checked out at this point. Solid fucking record.
Yeah, 100%. This is easily in my top probably 3 albums of theirs. This is just such a solid. I knew Light Up because that was on that Greatest Hits CD. I love the way that opens up the album with the cool intro, the fade in on the piano, and the great instrumental into that kind of the intro, and then the actual song itself are so different in terms of like how they sound, and I think it works so well. And I love when they do it live. Lorelei is an amazing song. I agree. Mother Dear is probably my least favorite, but I still think it's a cool track. Lonely Child's great, and then side 2, Midnight Ride, all time classic, Born for Adventure, and then Prelude 12 into Sweet Madam Blue. I'll talk about Sweet Madam Blue a little bit when we talk about another album that's coming up, because I have never seen them do Sweet Madam Blue live, but I thought I was gonna. And we'll talk about that. But I've never seen them do that live, so that's one I really would love. Even though Dennis isn't on stage, I want to see Dennis do it, but just to see that song perform live at all, I would love to see it. But yeah,
Yeah,
this album,
Yeah, I
So
saw
good.
Dennis on his last tour. He still held that note, not as long as he did on the Return to the Paradise, but he still holds it pretty long. He put on a really good show the last time I saw him. They had a great backup band, excuse me, with them. So yeah, I don't think he's going to tour anymore, but I was fortunate enough to see him on his last one, so that was pretty sweet.
All right. And speaking of con, I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I do like Sweet Madam Blue a lot on this.
Yeah.
I thought Sweet Madam. There's a couple. I thought Miss America was cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually, I prefer Miss America on here. I really do.
The live version of Miss America from this album was actually what was on that greatest hits CD that I grew up with.
Oh, there you go. I just love the part where he goes, "They all stop to look
Hmm.
Yeah.
at you." That part is badass. It should have been on the. But yeah, my God, fucking music time.
Oh, jeez, man. Wow.
The music video is worse. Get this DVD. The music video
That,
is
that,
so bad.
that's what I was about to say. How is it possible to make music time worse? Watch the video.
Tommy
Watch,
Tommy wouldn't even do it. Tommy filmed like one
yeah,
insert for that video where he's just waving at him from like
Yeah, pretty much.
over
Like
on the other
waving my,
side
I'll
of
see you guys later. I'm out of here.
yeah.
buddy, it's music time.
Yeah,
And
that's a shitty
Those
song.
stupid aliens that look like cone heads.
they played that. They played that on MTV when it was new.
Yeah.
I think I saw it twice. That's it. It was a one and done. It was terrible. But hey, man, it's a good live album for what it is. It's a shame they made a live album during the Kilroy thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
like,
if this came out on the Paradise Theater tour, oh my god.
yeah, that would have been beyond classic. Here, it's a band already fractured, but Crystal Ball is also good on here.
Hmm.
Look on here. It's
Well,
not a, not a bad
the
album, but
the thing between the two of these, some of the longer songs aren't even on the concert video. Like Sweet Madam Blue's not on the concert video,
Yeah.
Miss America's not on the concert video. But then on the other hand, the acting songs aren't on here.
Oh, jeez, they don't want to
So
mention.
like
Oh,
Heavy Metal Poisoning's not on here. Haven't We Been Here Before is not on here. I don't think Cold War's not on here, but they're all on this piece of shit. Oh, it's it. If you
I think
ever
Cold War is on that one. It's on
on
the
the
live. It's on
DVD,
is it on the live album? I thought it was.
no, it's not
Oh,
on the
okay.
album.
Oh,
No,
okay.
but it's on the DVD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger and I was like full into like Styx fandom, I thought this was cool.
I did too.
I no longer think this is cool.
I did too.
But it's still funny every once in a while to put this DVD on and see Tommy Shaw trying to act.
Or JY dancing. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
geez,
JY
man.
dancing or poor Chuck Panazzo. You could tell back then that he was you could tell he was getting into the dancing a little too much. But
I agree with Tommy, man. The best part of that tour was him taking. He felt better when he was taking the drugs, man. So, drugs can help sometimes, people.
the only cool thing about this DVD is the fact that they include a bunch of the old music videos on here.
yeah,
Is they
Yeah.
have Come Sail Away, Boat on the River when they're all sitting around on the stools, Rockin' the Paradise, Best of Times, Too Much Time on My Hands. They have a lot of the older. And then, of course, if you want to just really laugh your ass off, Kiss Animalized Live Uncensored is not available on DVD,
Jeez.
but the music video for Music Time is.
wow. They really don't care. They have
They
no
do not.
they have no shame.
They have no shame.
And I gotta tell you, I saw that tour. I saw the Kilroy Was Here tour, and it sucked. Now, I will say, and I'll explain why it sucked. I'm not saying the band was terrible, just the vibe it gave out. Number one, nobody stood. The whole show, everybody's sitting down. It's like that DVD. Before they came out on stage, they played that movie.
Yeah.
And I remember nobody was laughing with, "Ooh, Kawasaki." There's, this little,
Oh, my
Yeah.
balls.
yeah.
Order my bottles. Yeah.
But I got to tell you, Dennis DeYoung reminded me of Richard Dreyfuss as an actor. He really did. He's going like that to Miss.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the goofiness of Richard Dreyfuss. But I hate this album. Now, I went to go see the tour, and yeah, when they played Crystal Ball and Madame Blue, it was cool, but still, everybody was sitting down. I mean,
Yeah.
usually when I go see a band and everybody's sitting down, the band will be like, "Get up!" They didn't bother. They just did their thing with Tommy up there going, but Kilroy, the kids want to rock. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is this shit, man? And they did too much from this album.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, this was at the Hollywood Sportatorium. Hollywood Sportatorium was in the middle of miles and miles of trees, right?
I remember it.
Yeah. Well, my ride left me there.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Not only did a show wasn't good, I had to fucking walk home. Well, I hitchhiked a little too, but and I could have got killed because I was
and you're still here to tell the story. So
exactly because back then I was a foxy little guy. Some guy only raped me and slit my throat and just thrown me in the woods. There was miles of woods. But anyway, I was I don't know. I think I bought this. I didn't buy this when it was new, but I got this later on for maybe $1. I don't know where. To see if I can get into it. I can't. Now I'll tell you a funny story. The last time I saw uh, Dennis DeYoung, I'm all the way up front, right? And they go into Mr. Roboto. I'm not a fan of Mr. Roboto, right? Who does he pick out of everybody in the front? Me to sing it with him. I shit you not. He came right up to me, and I'm like, "Domo arigato." I'm singing it, That changed my life. I ended up liking the song after I did that. I was like, damn, that was cool. I sang Mr. Roboto with Dennis. I like that song now. And I tell you, man, that's the only song I like on here. I didn't like Heavy Metal Poisoning. Oh, Don't Let It End is okay. That one's an okay ballad. But no, I didn't like Cold War. I didn't like none of the Tommy Shaw songs. This was just a band that was on their way out. But maybe you guys think differently.
Go ahead, Joe. Go first, man.
I do not think differently. I liked Mr. Roboto when I was little, but then again, I thought this was cool when I was younger. So what did I know? I was a punk little kid. Um, this is not clearly, as you can see, this is the only A&M album that I don't own on vinyl, so you can see how I feel about it. I am not a fan. Mr. Roboto is still a cool track. I'll never. There's nothing on this album that I'll ever go out of my way to listen to. If Mr. Roboto comes on the radio, not that I listen to the radio that much, but I wouldn't turn it off. I don't mind Haven't We Been Here Before. I don't mind that song. I think that one's okay. But other than that, yeah, this is hot garbage. Hot garbage.
Jerry?
Yeah, I hear you. When I was a kid, I thought it was cool. I thought the video before the concert was cool, this and that. But look back on it now, what the hell was I thinking? But yeah, that album, it just went south in a hurry for me as I got older. I mean, I like Just Get Through the Night. I think that's a cool tune. And I do like Heavy Metal Poisoning, but I still to this day have trouble with songs like Don't Let It End and Mr. Roboto. And I just can't get into that. I think those were the two videos they had for that album, if I remember right.
They
Mr.
had a lot of
Roboto and
videos
Don't
for
Let
this
It End.
album.
I mean, MTV videos?
Yeah, Mr. Roboto
Did
had
they?
one. Don't Let It End had one. Heavy Metal Poisoning had one. And
Did they
Haven't We
have
Been
one,
Here?
really?
Yeah, it was like you never seen it. It was like
No,
like
I've
they're
never
in like
seen the Heavy Metal
they're in like a
Poisoning video.
theater where JY's at the front doing like his preaching kind of thing, and
I've seen it.
Tommy runs in with the guitar and during the solo and stuff, and they seize him, all that crap, and then runs out. But
I thought that was part of
uh,
the movie, though. Wasn't it not?
no,
It's been a
no,
long time, so I'm
yeah,
gonna.
it's on here. And then Haven't We Been Here Before has a music video that has nothing to do with the concept of
That's
the
where
album.
he's swinging on the
Yeah,
the grandfather. Okay, I did see that one. You're right. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a pass for me. We're gonna get shit when we review that album from the Sixth World group, but oh well, at least we're being honest.
and on the topic of that, I wish they would stop playing Mr. Roboto live. They didn't for like 30 years. And the first tour that I saw them on, the Mission Tour in 2018, they brought it back, and they've played it at every
Yeah.
fucking show since. They've brought it back in 2018 and have played it every single show for the last 7 years. Even this year, when they're doing the Grand Illusion plus like 6 or 7 other songs, they kept Mr. Roboto in the set list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a crowd
They-
pleaser. I mean,
they took- I mean, some of the things
the
they took
casual
out-
Styx fans love it.
Yeah, but some of the things they took out are they're not playing anything off Equinox. They're not playing anything off Crystal Ball. They're not playing
Right.
anything off of Cornerstone. But they left Mr. Roboto in the set list.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know exactly which album you're not going to be holding up, Ralph. So
Well, I'm done. There's only one Styx album I refuse to buy. And
you're not done.
which one is it? That's it. I'm done.
Never
Yep.
heard of it.
I fucking hate that album. No, that there's still another album.
Yeah, Edge of the Century. You don't have Edge of the Century.
There you go. See, these guys are good. Heavy Water 77. Subscribe and watch.
I have to admit, I stole the title from you in a way, Ralph, because he had Almost Human, which was a song from Kiss. And then 56, I put 77. So you were the inspiration behind the name, and I appreciate that. I put Heavy Water as a song in 77, which is the year that album came out. That's how I came up with the name of the group. So
this is, to me, the only Styx album with no duds.
yeah.
Every song is amazing. I love one song that I wish I could see them play live, and I never have, where I'm sure you guys seen it, is Superstar.
Yep.
I'll be seeing it this year. I'm going to the tour this year.
I've never seen them do Castle Walls, which is my favorite song off here. I've seen them do Man in the Wilderness, which is probably my second favorite song on here. But of course, and don't you find this odd? It's on YouTube as well. There is pro shot footage of the Grand Illusion tour. I
Yes.
believe it's in Winterland.
Yeah.
Black and white. Don't you guys find it odd? When they played Grand Illusion on there, they played exactly like they played it since then, but it's not the album version. Welcome to the Grand Illusion.
I like that.
That was Dennis, because they don't do it that way with
that's true. They don't.
Lawrence. That was all Dennis.
They do it now like the album?
They do the album version.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Because if you watch this DVD, they do the album version.
I love that. I'm sorry.
But if you watch Return to Paradise, they do the do. But ever since Dennis left the band, they went back to playing it like the album.
Yeah.
But when Dennis was in, even Grand Illusion tour,
yeah,
they were playing it that way. They never played it like the album till I guess now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I look, I don't hate the da-na-na-na-na. It's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But I'm too used to the album version, man. Give me that version, you know what I mean? Or at least like put the da-na-na later on, you know.
The reason I don't like that the way they did it live was because I love the way that Dennis sings it on this version. Welcome to the Grand Illusion. Come on in and see what's happening. Pay the price. It's powerful. I think when they did that, it broke it up, and he sang it like lower and stuff, and he held out notes, and it was stupid. I didn't like the way they did it live until they brought back the album version. So every time
I'm in the minority, I guess. I love the way they did that live with Dennis. So
I don't hate it, Jerry. I just prefer the other version. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
It's not something that would piss me off, you know.
All right. I mean, talk about fucking album, dude. I mean, this is a classic, man. It's definitely their magnum opus, I guess, if you want to call it that. Not a bad song on it, and it still sounds as fresh today as it did back then. I mean, you got the title track, Fooling Yourself, Superstars, and then fucking Come Sail Away. People, I know you've heard that song a million times, this and that, but God, what a great song that is, dude. I never
have
get
that
tired of
poster.
that fucking song. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. You turn that fucker over, he starts out with Miss America. And I love the way Miss America starts out on the album. They have done that. I think they do that in the Return to Paradise tour, if I remember right. They did. They play the whole keyboard intro, this and that.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. Then it goes into Man in the Wilderness. Holy crap. I mean,
my favorite Tommy song on here.
It is. And then Castle Walls and then the grand finale. It's cool and all that. But if I had to pick a song I could do without, it'd be that one. But man, dude, it is one of my favorite albums. I never get tired of it. Definitely their best album.
Yeah. Like I said. What were you going to say, Ralph?
My friend in 1977 had that poster on his wall. And we would listen to this in his room all the time when we were little kids. I wasn't really a big music fan yet, but I liked it. I liked what I was hearing. It didn't make me run out and buy it till many years later. But I liked it because I wasn't buying records back then. I was stupid as fuck as a little kid. I liked movies more than music back then. But but I liked it. I liked what he was playing, but not too crazy about the album cover. I like this better as an album cover. This, I don't know. What the hell's going on here? Is this hypnosis as well?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter though. I listen to music with my ears, not my eyes.
Yeah.
See, I've never even looked really too closely at this because I think this is just such an iconic album cover.
I do too.
I never even really
Yeah.
looked too closely at it. But it is a little weird if you kind of look at it. It's like what's going on here? But yeah, I just this album, like I said, when my dad got his record player fixed when I was 4 or 5, this was one of the albums that he had on vinyl, and I more than any other Styx album fell in love with this album so much. And this album has easily over the years been my favorite Styx album. I adore this album. Getting back to the story that I mentioned when we were talking about Equinox, last year I was seeing Styx at that little theater. It was such a cool, intimate vibe show. It was, like I said, probably maybe 1,000 people there. It was a really small show for them. Styx still plays pavilions and arenas and stuff. Like they still sell out pretty big shows. And they, for some reason, decided to play at this little theater. And so a couple days earlier, they had played another theater show that they had announced kind of similarly to the way ours was. And so when I looked at the set list for that, I figured, okay, they're going to play the same set list. And they got to the point in the set list where it was supposed to be Sweet Madam Blue. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've never seen them do Sweet Madam Blue live. This will be awesome. And Tommy comes out on stage with an acoustic guitar. And I thought, this is a little weird. That's probably not how Sweet Madam Blue opens up. And all the lights went down and you hear the match flick.
Oh,
And I thought, no fucking way. They're playing Man in the Wilderness. And that is Man in the Wilderness is my all-time favorite Styx song. And I had never seen them play it live. And I wept. And when they started playing that song, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life at seeing Styx at this little theater and seeing a song that's one of my all-time favorite songs, and I did not expect them to play it. And when I heard that match flick, I'm like, oh my God, they're doing Man in the Wilderness. And it was such a great experience. And Tommy still sounds so great with it.
He does.
And it, especially because I grew up, there was a channel on cable when I was younger that used to play this all the time, the Grand Illusion Pieces of 8 concert. And then, of course, I got it on DVD. I love this concert. I just watched this DVD not too long ago. But seeing that song live, especially, was so cool. And then, of course, I'll get to see it again this year because I'm going to see them do the whole album live, which is going to be great. I'm excited for that. So
yeah, they canceled here, man. They're having trouble selling tickets this tour.
Yeah.
A lot of people blaming it on REO Speed. Well, Kevin Cronin, I guess, would not be an REO Speedway, but I don't know, man. I think they might be touring themselves into retirement. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, they've toured constantly.
Yeah, they never stop. They're touring summer, spring, winter, fall every year.
Yeah, I don't know if they're touring themselves into, people have seen them so many times they don't want to go anymore or something. I don't know, but a lot of shows are being canceled this year, man.
Yeah, that I've seen they've pretty much literally. This will be my 5th year in a row seeing them live. They play every summer around here. They do an outdoor tour every summer, and then they'll do a theater tour every winter. So it's like you might be right that they might be touring themselves into semi-retirement here because they just keep coming back to the same places.
Yeah,
they haven't been here in years, so I'd go.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I tried to see Styx. They were playing the Dania Casino. And I drove, and it's kind of not close, man. It's almost 2-hour drive. And I get there, and it was sold out. I drove 2 hours for none. But I saw them. I think the last time I saw Styx was with Def Leppard. That was a long time ago.
That was.
Yeah.
And I've seen Styx. Let me think. I think I've seen Styx like maybe 4 or 5 times. After Dennis left, I've seen that lineup. Yeah, maybe 4. I know. I saw that one where they did I'm okay and. But yeah, I love me some Styx. Now here's the thing: there are a lot of people out there that don't like Styx. I get it, but here's the deal: either you like Styx or you're wrong.
Exactly.
What, Ralph? Where was that you? Where are you seeing Blue Oyster Cult at?
At the Hollywood Hard Rock.
Styx played there last month.
Last month?
Yeah,
Man, I suck. I
yeah.
didn't know that.
May 30th, and they played this whole album.
Oh,
I
man,
I couldn't remember where they played because I know Al Horta saw him in Tampa, I think,
Yeah,
and then I
he
think
did.
I knew a day or two before or after they were playing around you. I thought, yeah,
dude, that's fucking horrible. Hey, thank God I heard about Blue Oyster Cult then.
yeah.
Or I'd be missing that too. I'm seeing Dave there actually.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. I was going to ask where he's playing. I knew you had gotten tickets to see him.
yeah, they're playing the Hard Rock. So damn.
I'm hoping he sounds.
I
I'm
don't
hoping
care
Dave
if
sounds as
Dave.
good.
Yeah, I don't care if he sucks. Just to see Dave live, man, is worth the price of admission, in my opinion, man.
If he sounds anywhere near as good as he sounded when I saw him at M3, you're gonna have a great show.
Hey, he's got them gang vocals in the
Yeah,
background, man. So
I love that he has Boys to Men back there.
that was the
yeah,
coolest part because I literally because it's an all weekend festival, so we were there all day, and literally everyone around us sitting on the lawn all day was like, "Man, I don't know how this is gonna be. I don't know that Dave's gonna suck. It's gonna be a wreck. All this stuff. There was rumors that he was gonna cancel. There was all this different stuff, and then they're like, in the couple days ahead of time, like all these people associated with the event were like, no, he's going to be here. We promise. We promise. Don't get refunds. He's
the
going to be here.
Oasis
We
effect.
promise.
Yeah, or Axl Rose
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
And then there was two bands I was worried about. One I knew was going to suck, and that was the next day, and it was Ace Frehley, and he sucked ass. It was so bad. It was so bad. He did like a 20-minute long guitar solo, and they had to cut two of the songs at the end of the set because he soloed for so long. It was so bad. But then Dave was the night before, and Dave was just amazing. He came out, he opened with Panama. It was so good. And like a couple minutes before the set, somebody on the side of the stage must have gotten a picture of the set list and posted it on Facebook. And I saw the set list, and as soon as I saw the set list, I knew it was going to be a great show. Because he did Drop Dead Legs, he did I'm the One, he did all this great stuff. He did Atomic Punk. So if he does that same set list when you see him, Ralph, it was so good.
I tell you, I saw it through a crappy cell phone. It was still good.
Mm-hmm.
No, I loved the Bada Shubidua with Boys to Men. That shit was awesome, man.
Yeah, they were so entertaining because they were into it. They were right up there with Dave, just having a great time. Like everyone on stage was just having a great time. It was so cool. It was not what I expected at all, and it blew me away.
Awesome. I gotta call my friend Greg. Greg always calls me when there's a show coming, so I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
call him, cuss him out about Sticks. Because seriously,
That,
he went that prick. He loves Sticks. He loves.
you'll have to be on the lookout because they come every
They
year.
do.
They tour all the time.
Yeah, I mean they come here in Tennessee
Honestly,
twice
I
a
wouldn't
year at least. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if over the winter they're doing like an indoor show somewhere. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised around you because they do smaller shows over the winter every year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when they'll do like they won't have anybody playing with them, and they'll play like 30 songs. That's when they'll do like a full two
Yeah.
sets with an intermission usually.
Those are the best times to see them, though. That's when they throw out the nuggets, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But yeah, no,
do me a favor. If either of you see a date down here, let me know.
Will do.
yeah, I will.
Because I don't want to miss that. But dudes, thank you so much. You saved my channel for this week. And I love your episodes. I loved all the minutia and the things I don't know about these records that you guys got into, especially that Styx II episode. Like, there's not much to say about the first album because they hardly wrote on it, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, all that information you guys were talking about was fucking amazing. And I think it's an amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm do everything in my power to promote it. And because I know I have people on my channel that love Styx, and then I have a lot that hate it. Because when I put up a Styx video, I will get that guy to let me know how much he hates Styx. And every time that happens, I shit you not, guys. Every time somebody comes on my comments and say that they hate something I like, I automatically hate the band forever because they are so influential. Styx sucks. So
Yeah,
thank you.
somebody said they hated Led Zeppelin. I'm like, oh, you're right, man. They do suck, Fuck them. So yeah, I hear you.
Lately somebody will say something rude to me on YouTube, and what I usually do is I press hide from channel so I can never see them again.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been doing this lately. I don't know why I do it, but somebody will say something insulting me, and I'll reply with, "Oh my God."
See,
That's it.
I love
How
the
could
old
I have
days.
been so blind? You've been right. You're right, man.
I love
Jeez.
what you used to do in the old days, on the early days of the RMCP, when somebody would say some just obnoxious shit, and you delete the comment and then say, "Wait, did you say something? I can't remember. Did you say?" They wrote this whole big paragraph, and you just delete it, and then you say,
Yeah,
"Wait, did you say something?"
yeah, I remember there was that one weird dude. He wrote a
Yeah.
fucking novel, and I read maybe three, not even three sentences.
Uh huh.
I delete it, then I tag him. Did you say something?
Yeah, because I think that was around the time, that was around the podcast tournament time. Because I just listened to that episode not too long ago, when after you guys won the podcast tournament, and you were talking about that guy, that what, Zack Attack or something, I
Oh
think his
yeah,
name was.
that idiot said, he said, "Oh, at Rockin' Pod 2, you ran away from me." And I was like,
Ah,
number one, I don't even know what the fuck you look like. Number two, I didn't know no Zack Attack back in and he goes, "Well, I'll be at the next one. You better not fucking run from me." I go, "I won't." And me and Ian even did our little stand-up shit. And I'm
Mhm.
like, "It's Zack Attack here." That guy,
Nothing.
fucking idiot, man. Yeah, he
yeah.
was. I forgot what else he said. Oh yeah, he said we were using robots.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was when it. That was when it was. Everyone was using fake votes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh God, what a
jeez.
time that was! God, that was something else. I tell you what. Just
Yeah,
some of the things that we've been through on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast page. Oh boy.
it's
Ugh.
fucking weird. Weird.
The guy that what was his name, that like had three different names and called Allison the C word on your chat, and he
That dude said to Ian,
Young Allison?
yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
really?
and
Carter,
this,
see?
and this is
Wow.
when Allison was 15 years old.
yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, that guy told Ian that I was on my radio show talking about fuck Ian this, he sucks, this and that, saying all this shit on my radio show. And,
Hmm.
and it got back to Ian, something I never said.
Oh yeah, because I remember, because I think Ian even messaged me at the time. He's like, "Hey, did Ralph ever say anything like this on his radio show?" I said, "No." What?
Yeah, I did, but that idiot ended up telling Ian that I said all this shit about him.
Oh
And
yeah.
was, this was before I deleted him for calling Allison a cunt. He was doing this shit behind my back because he was talking to me and I didn't like him, but I was being whatever. He would listen to my show, whatever. He was a weirdo, but he'd type me, I'd write something back, but I didn't like the guy. But
What wasn't he the guy that said he loved Thrash or Die, and that he bought all your stuff? And then as soon as you said you didn't like him anymore, "Oh, I hate Thrash or Die. I burned their vinyl or
yeah,
something."
Thrash or Die sucks and I'm gonna burn everything they got. He didn't buy shit because he can't afford it.
No.
Come on, his mom is the one that buys him the hot box. That guy was a complete idiot. But anyway, Ian, on an episode when I was out of rock and metal, he did an episode with Mr. T from
Yeah,
Germany.
I remember this.
Yeah. And that's when Ian was saying on the show, "Oh, Ralph said this and that about me on the radio." And Mr. T was like, "No, he didn't."
No, he didn't.
He was even on the show like defending me, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah.
True, that guy's a fucking idiot. And of course, Ian's an idiot for liking it, but I do forgive the alcoholic because Ian rules.
Ian's amazing.
He is a cool dude,
Ian's
man.
so great. Back when I had not done anything on any shows, out of the blue 5 years ago, I asked him and Brian Davis to do an episode for my YouTube channel, and Ian didn't have to say yes. Ian has so much going on, and he said yes, and we did a great episode. We ranked all the James Bond movies. We had a great time. Ian has always been great to me, and so have you. You've always been great to me, and it's been so great being in this community of people, and that's what I love so much. When I was hell, however young Allison was. That was how old I was when I got on the first time. When you guys thought I was Terrence when I first got on the Rock and Metal Combat
Oh
podcast
man,
page.
no
Absolutely.
shit, really?
Uh-huh.
We
Because
Oh,
were,
I
we
joined
were,
Facebook just to join the Rock and Metal Combat podcast page. I was 15 years old. I had no Facebook friends. I had no pictures or anything. Everyone was like just trolling me on the page. Everyone, like Ian's like, post all your Loverboy vinyls to prove that you're a real person. And then I had to send him a picture of my high school ID to prove to him that I was a real person. And I was like, it was great though, because that was right after Terrence left the show and he was being awful, and of course everyone knows that whole story. But yeah, that was how I got introduced to the Rock and Metal Combat podcast community. Was everyone thought I was a fake profile that Terrence made?
oh, that's fucking
we
great.
were all paranoid about Terrence back then.
Oh yeah,
We didn't want him around at all. We still don't, He tries. He's still trying to this. Well, not this day, but
oh yeah. No, every 6 months or so, I'll get a friend request.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he sent.
They'll still try with Mark too, but Mark's come to his senses too. So
He sent me messages. Oh, I'm a changed person, and I would ignore it and not even answer, and then he'd turn around and go,
and then
Ralph,
he threatened to sue you.
yeah, Ralph's this, Ralph's that. Yeah, you changed, all right.
call the FBI on you. I know he said a whole bunch of
Remember
shit like
that.
that. It's
Oh my
like,
God.
dude, man.
I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah, when the Podbean page got taken down for like a couple hours
Oh yeah,
because he called the FBI.
and you want me to be your friend after all this shit you've done to me?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Right.
And then prove to me you haven't changed? And I'm expecting, and what he does, he'll make a brand new Facebook and send me a message. Because
Yep.
every time he does that, I block it, And you know what? You know what? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say nothing else about him because he likes Styx.
Yeah.
He does a
Oh, he
lot.
does.
A
He
lot
loves
too.
it.
Yeah.
So he may be listening to this. Hey, I wish you the best, buddy.
I
Just
do too.
remember this. Remember this. You weren't even on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast for a half a year. And that was over a decade ago. Let it go.
So was he an OG with you guys when you started, or you come on
Yep.
We
later?
started the show with him, and it lasted maybe 3 months.
It was like 15 episodes. It was nothing.
I felt bad because he was so horrible. I didn't have the heart to tell him. And neither did Ian. Ian was rude to him and all, but he didn't have the heart to tell him either because he was bringing down the show.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was
It was
horrible.
so bad.
And it was my fault because I thought, all right, Ian's a whack job. So it's going to be 2 whack jobs and the straight man. You know what I mean? That's how I thought it was going to work. It was my idea. I made a mistake. Ian fired him. And we've been way better since.
Well, and it turned out that Terrence was the biggest whack job of them all. He wasn't the straight man. He was a bigger whack job than either of you.
Well, I mean, we were acting.
Yeah. Well, he would make all those noises and he would do impressions and stuff, and it was like, what is this?
I got the Pink Panther here.
Yeah, the Pink Panther. He would do his
show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a video show.
Yeah.
I got Pink Panther. I'm like, we're not filming this. But
Wow.
hey, wish you the best. I know you changed. I take your word for it. But stay changed somewhere else. That's it. I'm not gonna. The war's been over for so long, but you keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming. I don't care. You can't sue me, bro. You just can't sue me here on planet Earth. Maybe on planet Suck you can sue me, but here on planet Earth, you can't do jack shit. And we stopped talking about you. And I know you're probably watching this because you like Styx. And big fan of Kilroy Was Here.
Yep.
It's sad that I have to say this, but the first show that I was ever on was his podcast back in like 2016 when he was doing the Terrence and Friends or whatever. He asked me to do an episode with him about Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And thank God that after one of his many mental breakdowns that he deleted all those episodes, and that does not exist on planet Earth anymore. There is no footage that I was ever on that show. There is no proof that I was ever there.
That's awesome. Well, same thing with me. I did several shows with him.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're all gone.
Oh, yeah. No, he deleted all that stuff years ago.
So
And
there's
what sucks, like some of that stuff, it's good that it's gone. What sucks is that he got the original Rock Metal Combat podcast YouTube page deleted. That sucks. All
yeah.
those episodes that you put so much work into, that was stupid. That pissed me off, and I had nothing to do with it. Like, I put zero effort into any of that stuff. You
That
guys
was
put all that work into it.
that was the end for me.
Yeah.
That was the end. I said, that's it, man. This guy is fucking bad news. I'm not gonna fucking talk about him no more. And here I am talking about him. But I'm not saying nothing bad about him. It may sound like I'm saying something bad about him because I'm describing the shit he did. If I
Yeah.
describe what he did, it sounds like I'm bad mouthing him. But I'm bad mouthing him with the truth, with what he did. It was horrible. It was terrible. And whatever. It ain't gonna happen no more because there ain't no. He can't delete my page anymore because we ain't talking about him. He may try, and say, "Oh, look, they talked about something about gay people on at 5433." Delete. I know he'll probably try shit like that. Cause fuck, bro, it's like, god damn, I can't identify with anybody like that. If you fire me from a show. Hey, and especially if you fire me because I was lame, because come on, overwhelmingly everybody was saying, "Man, Terrence sucks." It wasn't just me and Ian. Everybody,
I was 15 years old and I thought he was lame.
yeah, and therefore, okay, we have to let go of you.
And when I was 15, I liked this.
Yeah. That's funny when he mentioned that you were younger. I'm thinking you're my age, like in the 80s or 90s, but you're talking about 2010s when you were young. It's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was new to the game with Terrence. I was just coming on towards the end of you guys' relationship, and yeah, there's something wrong. There was definitely something wrong. I saw from the little, correspondence I've had or seen with the guys. So yeah, I mean, so I don't blame you guys, man. I understand what you guys were going through with him. He threatened to kick my ass one time because if I got into a podcast or something, because me and Mark were talking about it, and he's like, that's my job, this and that, blah 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 blah. I'll kick your ass, this and that. I'm like, dude, man. I'm like, I didn't know anybody at the time, so it was actually kind of scary. I didn't know about him. I'm like, dude, this guy got to come to my house or something and kill me or something. I don't know. But the more I listen to you guys about him, it's like it's just a bunch of fucking talk, man. That's all he is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do wish him well. I do.
Yeah.
I don't wish ill will on anybody, man. I really don't.
I wish you well that we kicked off your solo career. So solo, which means it's so low, nobody knows where it is. But here's
you mean you don't subscribe to the Terrence Reardon audio visual podcast?
Does he still come out with
volume
new stuff?
10? I have no idea. I don't subscribe to it.
I don't either.
Is that what it's called this week?
I have no idea.
Remember Terrence Reardon and Friends, and it was only just him?
Well, no, remember I was one of the friends one week.
Did he have that other dude with him for a while? That was kind of an asshole too, on Andrew something or another.
Oh God, yeah, that dude. That's a whole different story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard he wouldn't know.
Weird ass. He used to call.
I wonder what.
I'm like, is this a dude from fucking the Subway commercials? When I saw the pictures, I'm like, are you making this guy up? Is he real? I didn't know. So
I wonder what his top 10 podcasts are this week.
Oh yeah, we used to be his favorite podcast. But what happened? This is how we had the falling out with that guy. All he did was post anti-women shit constantly. He hated women, and Ian called him out on it. And when Ian called him out on that, then all of a sudden we weren't his favorite podcast. Actually, we were the worst podcast known to man.
Yep. Every week he used to post a list of the top 10 podcasts of the week. Every week.
Yeah, that's what we attracted.
And then of course you had the Chuck guy who was obsessed with whatever season it was. This is season 2, episode 15 or whatever. Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, Lopner or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
yeah, I remember
Chuck
that dude
Lobson.
too. Yeah, Lobson. That's it. Yeah, man.
Mm.
And there were some characters.
And we had the other Chuck that wished death on me.
Mm.
Oh,
I was that close to starting a podcast with him. That close.
You were.
Oh, I
That,
remember that.
folks,
I remember
I tried to give you
that
guys
close.
you and Travis warning signs like, dude, no, you don't. It's just you don't want to do this, man. You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck don't like Styx, so we can talk about him.
He certainly wouldn't be 3 hours into a Styx podcast. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, yeah, no. I was that close to starting a podcast with him, and it was going to be named after an Oasis song, of course. But
Mad for it or something like that.
it was
Mad
something I
for
don't
it
know.
or some shit like that.
That was his page. I don't even remember what our show was going to be called. But yeah, no, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's we've known some people. I'll tell you,
Yeah, there's been
we've
some
known some people.
characters.
and then we flip the coin, and then it's like the most amazing people.
Oh my God, yeah, so many amazing
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
Ken Strachey
Mm-hmm.
and Samuel Wetz.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, you know.
Al
One
Horton,
of
man.
Al
Andy
Horton, yeah.
Rodriguez, man. Great fucking people,
One of the
man.
coolest times
Yeah.
was when I saw Pantera a couple years ago. I saw Pantera, and I got to meet Scott Stein, the VIP.
Oh,
I got to meet him in person. That was so cool. We talked for like an hour after the show. We walked out to our cars together. It was so cool. It was great to see him. I'd love to meet more people. I know Ryan T. Russell was at M3, but unfortunately I didn't get to meet him. But yeah, there's so many cool guys.
yeah. Edwin's moving up to my neck of the woods, so hopefully we'll be able to hang out and see a show or two together. Looking forward to that.
I
Yeah,
got
just
to
great people. Great
got-
people I've met on this.
I met Edwin once. We all hung out at a bar or restaurant with him.
Very smart guy. Actually, kind
Oh
of
my
maybe
God.
too smart for me, actually, I think. But yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He really is. He knows his shit, man. He comes prepared all the time.
I can go on and on of
Yeah.
all great people involved in the RMC Army and shit. And then there's some that were great, but then all of a sudden they got really pissed at me because I don't like bands they like.
I don't
Yeah.
get that. It's like, why, dude? Why does that matter?
You could say the worst thing possible about a band I love, and I will never be offended by it. Like
Exactly.
I don't get it.
I like
don't
Air
get it.
Supply, and I get shit for that all the fucking time. Give
Like-
it to me. I'll take it.
Like, and like I know what sent a couple people last year over the edge was the Prince thing. I
Yeah,
love Prince.
I'm
You
never
could say
big on
you
Prince.
could say
Great
so
guitar
much-
player, but
You could
yeah,
say anything you wanted about Prince, and you have, and you have, and it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't know the man personally. It doesn't offend me if
That's the way it should be. Absolutely, man.
if you say that he's gay or whatever. It doesn't offend me.
that,
It has
that,
nothing to do with me.
but that's the thing. When I say that Prince is gay, they get really mad. It's almost like homophobia.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just playing around. I'm talking bad about Prince, not you.
Yeah.
No, and they get so offended. It's like, why? It's just my opinion. I'm sure I like stuff that'll make you gag. That'll
Mhm.
this.
Absolutely. I'm the same
Well,
way, man.
here's the thing. The fact that one of those people says god awful things about Paul Stanley and then can turn around and
Actually, two of them
that's true. That's
two of
true.
them that are upset with me say shit about Paul Stanley. But if I say shit about Ace Frehley, and by the way, the shit I said about Ace Frehley is actual facts.
Yeah.
I'm not saying stuff like they always bring up how Tommy Thayer and Paul Stanley are boyfriends and they're gay. Where I have pictures of Ace Frehley making out with an old man.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like, you guys are photoshopping, Paul and Tommy as boyfriends. Here's the actual this ain't Photoshop. Boy, that upsets them. The truth upsets them. And I still love Ace Frehley. I could give a fuck what he puts up his ass. I really don't care, but I feel it's funny to say it. I don't know.
It's hilarious.
It is. It's great.
funny.
I love it, man. It makes me it makes my day sometimes. It's so fucking funny, dude. Keep it up, man.
Today, I made a post. I don't know what about. And when I make a post, I have so many Kiss nerds on my page that doesn't
Oh,
reply with something to do with Kiss on a post that has nothing to do with Kiss. Well, this one guy replied, and it was, I don't know, it was long and something about Ace Frehley and Indiana Jones. And it's a picture of Indiana Jones with Ace Frehley and aliens around it. And I replied, hey, he loves stuff shoved up his ass. That's all I said. It's
I love
funny.
those comments, man. They're funny as
The,
fuck
the
when I
thing
read
is,
them, man. They really are.
the Kiss nerds especially. I love Kiss. I mean, like, look, like
Yeah, I
I
love.
love Kiss, but it I've never been somebody to get offended by stuff people say. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me. I've had people tell me all kinds. When I was a kid, when I said I like Kiss, people looked at me like I had three heads. Like
Right.
I've heard enough that it doesn't. Nothing bothers me. But then years ago, when there was a certain Kiss Facebook group that one of the people that you're talking about used to
Oh, I know what you're
run,
talking about. Yeah.
that one of the people that you're talking about used to run years and years ago, and all they ever talked about was OMG Kiss this and OMG Kiss that. Sonic Boom's the greatest album of all time. All this shit.
I got the funniest story about that group.
Mm-hmm.
The funniest. I one time put a picture of a fictitious band my guitar player came up with called Turbo Faster.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Yeah.
Album covers this really shitty painting of a deer with a human head and arrows in it. Just so hokey. I put that picture with Kiss Asylum, right? And I wrote, which album's better, right? There were comments of people saying, Asylum by far. And that's when
I remember that. That was hilarious. I do
that's
remember
when
that
I
one.
told the owner of that thing, I go, dude, the people on your page are fucking posers. Complete, utter posers that all they do is listen to Kiss, which is okay if you want to do that. But you're gonna say that Kiss is better than some band that doesn't exist, shows that you're a fucking cheap idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, and by the way, without giving away who we're talking about, you don't know this, Joseph, but this might shock you. He wished death on me and Ian.
Oh, I
Damn,
know. I
dude.
Oh,
I know.
Really? I didn't know that. I know who you're talking about, but I never knew that.
and
Wow.
once you wish death on somebody, friendship's over.
Yeah. Later. We'll talk to you
Me,
later.
me,
Yeah,
me, and me
exactly.
and Sam Wetz have had some phone conversations about some of the shit that has happened with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden I'm like a bad guy because I got sick of him bitching at me. I had a falling out because he was on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after I've had many arguments with the guy. There was one part where I stopped being his friend. I couldn't take it no more. And then I said, fuck it, I'll give him another chance. And then we had him back on the show. And then he texts me the next day, you made me look bad on the podcast. I didn't even edit the goddamn show much. All I did was I edited him saying something he said before, so you wouldn't hear him say the same shit over and over again. But I edited Ian the same way because they're both extremely drunk. Man, when he would do the show with us, I dreaded the editing part. But this
Oh,
one,
I remember some of the unedited episodes that you used to put up on the original Facebook page of some of
yeah,
the times that he was on. I understood your pain. Trust me.
yeah, repeating the same thing and then attacking me on stupid shit. Like, oh, you didn't even watch this video I made. I didn't see it. Yeah, you did. I didn't see it. Why would I lie about I didn't see it?
Yeah.
Called me a liar. And then, I keep forgiving him. And then we get along great. And then that was the last straw. You made me look bad. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I
Right.
can't deal with this no more. I can't. I'm not really good with alcoholics and drug addicts, but Ian's kind of an exception because he's a fun drunk, you know? But
He's a functioning drunk.
yeah, there are certain drunks that get mad at me because of their
Yeah.
delusion. And I don't like, after a while, I get sick of it. I'm like, I don't want you as a friend no more, dude. If you keep accusing me of shit, I'm not. That's it. I'm done with you. And then he wished death on me and Ian. And
Yeah.
the
It's
reason
not
he
cool.
wished death on Ian is because Ian decided to continue the show with me. So therefore, Ian is a traitor.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Even though Ian and you did the show long before he was around. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he would always brag, "Oh, mine got the most views." And then we would bring up a certain episode that got no views he was on, and he would get upset when Ian would bring that up. And yeah, you know what? No, and again, I wish him the best. I wish you the best. Very fucking far from me. I wish you the best. That's all I can say. You know.
Right.
And it hurts too in a way because he was a cool guy, and then it turns to this. It's like, fuck, man. You know,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but what can you do? All I know is that I want people like you guys on our corner, you know? Not people that get upset because Ace Frehley puts shit up his ass, and I think the singer of The Cure is kind of fruity. Where
You know what I should be upset about? I shouldn't be upset that Ace really put shit up his ass. I should be upset that I'm so much of a
Don't show
sucker.
it. Don't show it.
I'm
Don't
so much
show
of a
it.
sucker that I pre-ordered this bullshit.
Ah,
I bought that. I
I
suck.
want some cherry
I
medicine, dude.
suck. As a human being,
hey,
I suck
Yeah.
because I fell in for that.
Man.
well, I actually have it on vinyl, but I didn't buy.
Oh.
I didn't buy it.
See,
But
I paid money for that. That's the thing.
somebody got me
That's
on.
what hurts my soul.
Yeah, that album's fucking horrible. And yeah, that's another thing. Bashing that album, I seem to upset some people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't the only one bashing the album.
Oh, I would bash the hell out of it.
I have
It
barely
sucks.
ever heard anyone say anything positive about that album,
Yeah.
even Kiss fans. Like that's
But
and the sad part is when Origins Volume 3 comes out, I'll still buy it.
yeah.
Yeah.
My point is, everybody bashes on 110,000 volts, but it's okay. But if Ralph does it, you know, if Ralph says it sucks, it's not okay. So fuck them.
Yeah,
All
the
right?
higher you're up,
Yeah.
the more they want to knock you down, man. That's the way it always has been, man.
Whatever.
That's always
Let
been the
them-
case.
Let them do what they do, and I'll keep doing what I do.
Absolutely, man.
They, you know, and let me tell you something. They keep coming after me. They keep like I ignore them. I'm done. I'm moving on. They want to come back at me just to let me know they exist.
All right.
And it's ridiculous. I ended up blocking them, and they end up another way to say, "Here I am." Sad shit. I would never waste my time online to go after.
Yeah.
them.
Sometimes I don't understand how people have that much time in their lives. Like, go pet a dog or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
Like go. I don't even know.
You would say go get laid, but I don't think they have the fucking opportunity for that. So yeah, I get it.
I don't even know. Like I will never ever understand people that get offended by stuff that people say
Yeah.
online. I don't get
That's
it.
ridiculous.
It's just I don't get.
I get it all the time. Look, I did a recent Suck versus Suck where I said Iron Maiden 7 Sign. I knew I was going to get attacked. I knew it because so many people think it's their best album. And I always explain in the videos, it's cool if you think that. You know, it's not my thing. It doesn't matter. And I'm done, by the way. Every time I do a Suck versus Suck, I'm not apologizing for shit. You know, I'm done. Because much as I set it up and explain it's cool, you like it, they still attack me. And with the Seventh Son one, when they attack me, I don't ban them. Oh my God, that's all I heard. You're an idiot for calling Seventh Son. Oh my God. That's it. But anyway, hey guys, this was a long episode and it was very interesting, especially the last part.
Yeah, it was educational and took me down some memory lane there a little bit. So cool.
So check out Heavy Water 77. By the way, what am I doing again? I'm going to be on a future episode.
Yes,
Yep.
we're doing our greatest hits of the Wood and Nickel era, our version of the greatest hits.
We're going to talk about the 4 albums and then we're going to do a top 10.
Yep.
Right on. I look forward to that. And everybody out there, please subscribe to Heavy Water 77. And thanks for watching, everybody. Schmack a gob.